Canadian gamer. Got a few days off here, so I've got some extra time to shoot a couple of videos. Now I want to let you guys know, first thing, I finished watching Vertical Limit yesterday, and surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. Maybe we could consider it a guilty pleasure. You know, one of those movies that's so bad it's good. You know, I've never been a fan of Chris O'Donnell, but he's, all things considered, not too bad in that movie. Long movie too. But yeah, I definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it. Vertical Limit. It's definitely a one and done. You're gonna want to watch it and probably never watch it again. But yeah, not a bad movie at all. So the next thing I want to talk about while we're on the trail here, speaking of that Bode Miller character that I talked about the other day, Bode Miller skiing, alpine skiing. First things first, CM Retro brought it to my attention. It's pronounced Bode Miller, not Bode. The second thing is, I don't have the exact dates here, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but you guys can look it up on Wikipedia. Bode Miller, like I had previously mentioned, he's kind of like, or at least he was, the Wayne Gretzky or the Tiger Woods of downhill skiing back in the 90s. Now this was a guy who turned pro at the age of 20, so just a kid. And I think he turned pro, I want to say maybe 1997. Now the reason why I mention him is because when you take a look at his Wikipedia, and believe me, this story ends up going somewhere. The guy's got all kinds of accolades. He's won all kinds of gold medals. It's really quite impressive stuff. But when you look further in on this guy, I guess the controversy started around, I want to say 2002. So at that point he would have been, I don't know, 24, 25 years old. So he participated in the Olympics. Was it in Vancouver that year? I can't remember. And I guess maybe he won a gold medal. But I guess rumors started to circulate that this guy liked to party hard and live that Olympic lifestyle. And Bode had an interview a couple of years after the fact, and he even confirmed it. He said, more or less, he had been drinking while he was performing. So I don't know if he was drunk, but he said it was a lot more entertaining being buzzed while he was in the Olympics. So, I mean, it's, on one hand, it's pretty incredible for you to be able to be that good at skiing that you can get absolutely fucking shit-faced and go downhill skiing and win a gold medal at the Olympics. But but on the other hand, yeah, not a great role model. And he's also had, or I guess he's been known for being a complete fucking, I guess, dick to media outlets. A lot of the media, especially, you know, after these revelations came out about the Olympics, sort of put this guy in a negative light. So as far as his professional accolades are concerned, absolutely impressive. As far as his, you know, persona is concerned, off the ski hill, guy's a fucking dick. And just to add to that, he married a professional, I guess a volleyball star, if you will, slash model. She's probably hot. And he ended up having like 4 or 5 kids with her. Now I think it was around 2016. I think they had a boy. And then in 2017, maybe 2018, they had a girl. And you can read about this online. What happened was, I think the child was about 18 months old, so pretty much still an infant. And somehow the child ended up, I guess, walking over, or crawling over. Do they walk at that age? Yeah, they would, eh? Over to the neighbor's property and ended up, unfortunately, tragically, drowning in the pool. And I think there was another high-profile incident involving a child drowning in a pool around that time as well. So there was definitely, you know, a heightened awareness regarding that situation, because I don't think it's the main cause of death for infants, but it's one of them is, you know, pool drowning. But I don't want to speculate because I don't know the specifics around the situation, but you know, hopefully there wasn't alcohol involved. You know, child neglect. You're not paying attention to your children. I don't understand. Again, I can't say. I don't know the situation, but if I had an 18-month-old child, I for sure wouldn't be taking my eyes off of it. And I don't know how things are over in the US, but in Canada, you have to have, if you have a pool, especially if it's in ground, for God's sakes, you've got to have a fence around it. You've got to have a barricade for that exact reason. Too many freak accidents. So yeah, that is obviously extremely unfortunate that that happened. I don't understand how that could happen. Who knows? But, you know, that's why, you know, if you're thinking about building a pool, you may want to consider getting an above ground pool. You know, a lot of these rich actors and athletes that live in Hollywood that have these huge mansions and these in-ground pools, it's just a recipe for disaster. You know, a lot of times with people with money, and you might think it's cold-hearted for me to say this, but you know, the more money you have, the more toys you have, and the more problems and misadventures you get into. Just look at the Kobe Bryant situation. You know, hey, if he wasn't a millionaire, he probably wouldn't have been in that private helicopter. I'm just saying, that's how it is. So sometimes it's the guy that doesn't have a lot of money that, you know, ends up not getting into as much trouble. Anyways, let's continue on the trail and see what else we can find on our travels. Oh man, it's so nice being out here on the trail. If I could do this all day, I would. It's absolutely incredible. You get away from the hustle and bustle of the city. It's just so quiet back here. All you can hear is the wind, the birds, the trees. I'll show you guys something here. This is actually a foundation for my house. Gotta be careful up here in Canada. A lot of times in the wilderness we have bear, and they're actually more afraid of you than you are of them, if you can believe it, as long as they're not provoked. But I'm always on the lookout. Usually you can smell their feces and you know well enough to start walking the other way. But yeah, if I saw a bear, I probably wouldn't get too close. We do get Canadian lynx as well, although they're pretty rare to see. They're not an endangered species, but it's rare to come across one out in the wild unless you're way up north. That being said, there was a Canadian lynx spotting, what was it, last year, in and around the Ottawa Valley, and somebody actually caught it on video. This is pretty cool to see. You do see deer out this way. There's a heavy deer population, and occasionally you see moose as well. So yeah, lots of interesting nature-esque animals in Ontario, Canada. So the other day when I was out here shooting my video, I said it was minus 11. It was actually almost minus 17 that day. And it was, I think, colder in the forest. Well, today it's the complete opposite. Today it's 4 degrees. So yeah, it's beautiful. You don't need to wear gloves at all. Sounds like Neki. If you guys can see that, that's a red pine tree. Holy fuck. That actually could be a raven, to be honest with you. When you hear it cawking like that, that very well could be a raven. Getting very close. Holy fuck. You guys aren't gonna believe it. I just fucking saw. It wasn't a fucking raven. It was like a hawk. Huge wingspan. But a lot of people think that ravens are a different sort of bird versus... Sorry about that, I lost my train of thought. A lot of people think ravens and crows are different birds altogether, but they're actually one and the same. Well, they're similar. Ravens are basically large crows, but there are some unique differences. Ravens have like a lot more scruffy hair around their neck. And if you really want to know the difference between a raven and a crow flaps its wings when it flies, whereas a raven just swoops. So, you know, I don't even know if that was a hawk I saw back there, because hawks don't usually flap their wings, do they? Ravens are also a lot larger than crows, but they are from the same family. I haven't seen a raven, gosh, I don't know how long. I'd like to see one, but I don't think I'm going to see one out here, to be honest with you. So that bird is coming back this way. I'm going to see if I can get it on video. Alright, so it's starting to get a little bit dark out here, so let's return to the car, and when I come back, we'll be in the games room. Ah, talk about a true hidden gem. Some may even say this is the true spiritual successor to Echo the Dolphin. You know what? We'll talk about this game another day. We're here to talk about Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Now, I've had this game in my collection here for several months now. I did buy it, I believe, last year, and I have not played it yet, so now's as good a chance as any. So I'm going to put this game on tonight. Truth be told, I'm not the biggest Castlevania fan. I've given those games so many chances, and I've just never been able to really get into it. I can't stand the term Metroidvania. I hate it when people use that term. I find those two series, Metroid and Castlevania, have nothing in common. But this is a 3D Castlevania, so I'm interested in this. I'm going to give it a chance. This is the collector's edition that you see here. I think I picked it up for under $10 last year. So I don't know if you guys have played this one or not. If so, leave it in the comments below. I'll chip away at it tonight, and then I'll come back tomorrow or perhaps the day after and give my initial impressions of this game. Also as well, speaking of PlayStation, I've got an exciting
video coming your way on Friday. It is PlayStation related. You're not going to want to miss that one, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.